Picture a perfect afternoon on the lake. You're relaxing, the water is completely calm, and suddenly you see a motorboat in the distance. It's speeding erratically, cutting right across the water and heading directly for you. Instantly, your heart rate spikes. You brace for impact, and an intense, hot wave of fury washes over you. You start cursing the reckless, selfish driver who is completely ignoring everyone else's safety. You crank the wheel at the absolute last second. The hull scrapes past you and you spin around, ready to scream at the person who nearly ruined your life. But as you look over, you see the boat is completely empty. It simply slipped its moorings and drifted into the current. Notice what happens in your brain right at that moment. The physical danger was exactly the same. The inconvenience was identical, but the white-hot anger, it vanishes instantly. This equation breaks down the mechanics of stress. We burn out because we project malicious intent onto simple life events. The projection, not the event itself, generates the exhaustion. That phantom driver from the lake shows up everywhere. We yell at the empty boat when someone cuts us off in traffic, when a coworker sends a terse email, or when someone weaves a shopping cart in the middle of the grocery aisle. We suffer from an illusion of intent. It's a cognitive glitch where the brain automatically assumes it is the main character in a hostile narrative, and everyone else is an antagonist. By forcing us to take the universe personally, this glitch traps us in a constant, exhausting state of mental defense. The ego functions as a defensive, superficial identity. It interprets the world strictly through the lens of how things affect us. It constantly compares, judges, and turns random, chaotic inconveniences into targeted personal attacks. Think of the ego as a set of heavy, combative antlers. You're walking around, head down, constantly prepared to lock horns over the slightest provocation. These antlers are dangerous because they entangle us in pointless disputes over minor slights. Once two people engage from that defensive posture, neither side can easily back away. The psychological armor we wear generates the friction and conflict it claims to protect us from. The cure for this condition was documented over 2 millennia ago. In the 4th century BC, the Taoist philosopher Chuang-Tzu first proposed the empty boat theory. This diagram illustrates his core mechanism. Instead of seeing an attacker, view the person as an empty boat, drifting on unseen currents. Applying this perspective instantly diffuses the need to retaliate. You can't hold a grudge against an empty piece of wood. This ancient concept echoes directly into Mahayana Buddhism and the practice of mindfulness, where neutralizing the ego's constant judgment is the primary goal. Today, those principles of non-judgment and non-duality form the foundational bedrock for modern clinical stress reduction techniques. When we accept that we are not the main character of everyone else's story, we strip away the false narrative of negative intent. The stress is neutralized. Think about how this changes a typical Tuesday. You get a terse, short email from a coworker. Before, that was an insult requiring a defensive reply. Now, it's just a symptom of their overwhelming workload. By consciously picturing that unmanned boat, your anger simply has no place to anchor itself. But the final challenge of the theory requires flipping the perspective inward. You have to empty your own boat. You have to drop the heavy antlers. Dropping this psychological armor allows us to stop measuring and judging others. It significantly reduces the friction we encounter in our daily interactions. Life guarantees that we will experience collisions. People will make mistakes, plans will fall apart, and frustrations drift into our path. The physical collisions are inevitable, but by changing our perception of the intent behind them, we can prevent the resulting emotional suffering. When we finally stop taking the weather of the world personally, we reclaim our time,